Welcome to another episode of Drunk Cop and a Teacher, the podcast where everything's made up and our comments don't matter, just like this group's attempts to ever play Squadrons.
Listen, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, all right, my
When?
darling?
Where the hell were you? Listeners,
I was having date night.
I brought this up the other night. I was like, hey, are we ever going to play Squadrons? Because all of us own the game and we've never even played it together yet. That was the whole point of all of it. That was the whole point of Ham getting it.
I gotta use
we caught him to play it. And we were like, oh, Ham was like, oh, I'm down. Just let me know what's up. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still waiting to hear from Mike. We never heard from Mike. Where the hell is Mike? No explanation. He was dead silent. He was being a bitch. He didn't say anything to us.
I was having date night with the wife.
Then why couldn't you say that? That's 2 words to text. Date night. That's it. That's all you could have done.
But it was a lot to text.
Like Ham and I waited all night. We got drunk, crying over the fact that you couldn't talk to us anymore.
I don't even think I got drunk.
That's how bad it was. He doesn't remember.
It was. Yes, I didn't even drink.
Listen. I promise you this week we will play it.
Oh, he promises.
I promise you. Name the time. Name the place.
This week I'm drinking the whole week, so you fucked up.
Why you need to drink the whole week?
Because I'm off, you
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, just for the listeners' sake, what we're talking about is because of Ham's love interest. She made us a logo, and it's actually really, really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, we could do a vote if we yay, nay to put it on for our next logo.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, are you asking us to vote?
I mean, we could vote right now. Me is a yay.
It's a yay for me, whether black or white or
yay, and it's official. We're just going to, put it on there, show it off, and stuff like that. And hopefully, we could use it for merchandise, hats, and stuff like that.
Business cards. I want business cards.
Business card. Ooh, yes. I like that.
So, yay or nay?
On business cards? That was my idea.
No, I'm saying
my idea.
Like
TM.
I said yay already.
He said
yay. Say yay twice.
Yay, yay.
Yay, yay.
Can I get it 3 times?
Yay, yay, yay.
Can I get a 4th?
Sure.
All right, Mike, besides spending money on Pokemon Go and doing an excessive amount of raids that you shouldn't be doing, what else have you been up to?
No. Speaking of that real quick, Aaron's like, how much do you think he actually spent? I'm like, probably $60.
Oh, no. I actually checked my account. I actually spent 11.
11,000?
No, $11, you dipshit.
Uh-huh. All right, sure.
No. Of course, I haven't been doing much lately. I've actually been trying to catch up on anime. I'm watching One Piece. I'm only 150 episodes behind, but I'm slowly trying to catch up to it and watch it. It's awesome. I love it. What else have I been up to? I haven't been really much.
How long is One Piece for the viewers or listeners?
Oh my god!
I was gonna say, isn't there like a bajillion episodes out?
There's like 967 episodes right now.
Jesus,
is it worth it though?
For me, yeah, it's great. I love it. The fighting's awesome. The characters are amazing, and the worlds that they go to, it's really, really breathtaking, and everything like that.
And then one last question: is it this versus Naruto?
I take Naruto because I'm just a diehard fan of Naruto.
You're killing it, man.
I love Naruto, man. I can't move away from Naruto. And also too, I know Ham mentioned this, and I actually saw this today. The Last Blockbuster. It's on Netflix. I saw.
No, that's what I was gonna. Yeah, I was gonna talk about that, but.
All right, Ham. Besides, reviving Blockbuster, what else have you been doing?
He's out, by the way.
Hanging out with my beloved and thinking about getting a year pass for SeaWorld.
Really?
Yeah, only because Disney doesn't have it, and I've been to Universal. So I haven't been to Universal, like I said, when we were in high school, I believe, or middle school, whatever that was. So there was only one ride, I think, when we went. So I'm down to try it out. Oh, also the combo pack with Busch Gardens because I've only done Busch Gardens once.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done Busch Gardens. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
somewhat off topic. I feel like Nicolas Cage at this point should do like a multiverse movie with all of his bad movies and roles like that he does.
Oh my
All
god! And
right.
then
All
Henry.
right. You shut the fuck up. That is amazing. That is amazing.
Just saying.
That's
And Ghost
amazing.
Rider's the villain.
I gotta make. Oh God! I gotta make sure I save this clip so in case it comes up
Yeah,
later.
yeah. You're gonna get sued after they do that. Copyright right reserved. Drunk cop and a teacher.
There you go.
.com and a half. We did that. So fuck everybody else.
All right, so I haven't been really doing anything exciting like you two have, like not reviving franchises and whatnot. The only thing that I started to watch, but I didn't get around to finishing because I didn't get to it until very, very late. Console Wars. Ham, did you watch this one yet? Okay, so I for some reason I thought maybe you had brought it up in another episode and I just wasn't paying attention, but this was on Paramount.
Sounds familiar.
I was scrolling through Paramount and I saw the title Console Wars and I was thinking, oh, it's probably a stupid Xbox versus PlayStation thing. But the poster image of it is actually a Nintendo controller and a Sega controller. And I'm thinking in my head, like, why is this really a wars thing? Like, Sega really had an impact on Nintendo. And so I was interested to start watching it. But like I said, it was so late that I was like, I'm not going to have the mentality to stay watching this whole thing because it's a documentary that it started off talking about the rise of Nintendo. And I got to the part where it started talking about the rise of Sega. And so.
You mean when I told you to watch this on Netflix?
What? They was on Netflix, wasn't it?
No, there was a Netflix series I told you guys to watch about it. And you're like, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. This was this was games, whatever. This was basically probably what you watched, but yeah, I told you to watch something similar, and you did not watch it.
Well, this was, I mean, I don't know. This was just between Nintendo and Sega. My only interest in there is that I don't understand why Sega is a huge deal or had that much of an impact towards Nintendo. And that's the only reason why I'm watching it. I'm like, I guess I could watch this and try it out. So let's get to finally talking about this little movie. We may have mentioned it once or twice in the podcast. Ham always brings it up to us because he's the one that looked for it the most. But we finally, after what seems like a decade, we finally get Zack Snyder's Justice League, which premiered on HBO Max. It was a 4-hour long movie.
2 minutes.
4 hours and 2 minutes.
Yep.
Ham was definitely keeping track, making sure he got those extra 2 minutes that he wanted. And I mean, if anything, we're probably going to mostly compare this to the first, but
don't remember it.
Well, I recently watched it. It was like a month ago, I think, that I watched it because I brought it up on the podcast. So yeah, I think it was about a month ago. Mike, when was the last time you watched Joss Whedon's Justice League?
I think it was actually last year, 2020. I don't know why I watched that. I think it was just because I was going back and forth of watching Suicide Squad and Justice League because I was like, all right, I got to make sure that these movies are good or bad. And then when I watched it, I was like, yep, they're bad. They're bad.
So when did you rewatch Harley Quinn?
I've only seen one. Oh, I think that was right after. I think when I finished watching those two movies, that's when I saw Harley Quinn. I was like, yeah, DC is fucking shit.
And when was the last time you watched Joss Whedon's?
When did it come out in theater?
That's the last time you saw
wow.
it.
Yeah.
I remember. The thing is,
that's why I don't remember it.
I remember scene by scene. I don't know why.
Okay, well,
I remember some scenes.
Oh, okay. That's good for you.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do with this. Because out of the three of us, even though Ham was the most excited, Mike is the one that gave it the most shit about this even being a pointless release.
Oh, which, I was so excited
to an extent, Ham and I kind of agreed. I did say on the last episode that I wanted to try to go in with an open mind to try to remove as much of my bias as I can. So I'm gonna go first in
Go
talking
ahead.
about the movie.
Yeah, go
Then
ahead.
Ham, and then we'll save Mike for last because I feel like Mike. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I just want to know what came out of this for Mike because I think his heart is the one that's set the most on this one.
Yeah, like for the listeners, who's been listening to us, and for the new ones, Sal, the teacher, he is a very hardcore um Marvel fan. In the same
What?
way that he is, I know, right? Surprise, Shyamalan twist. The way that he is with Marvel is the same way that I am with DC. I've read the comics. I am so devoted with these superheroes and villains that I just been dying for a good DC movie, and yeah, that's where I stand. So I don't mind being for last because mine might be quite a bit long.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and start. What I wanted to first talk about or bring up was how I kind of felt watching the whole movie. You know how back in the day we were so excited for the deleted scenes feature on DVDs, and like there'll be like 20 deleted scenes, and there'll be like a play or play all, and you hit the play all. That's how I felt when I watched this movie, where it was like deleted scene after deleted scene after deleted scene, especially at the end, where it was like, God damn, that's a lot of deleted scenes.
Yeah.
And that made up the extra content for the 2 hours.
Yeah, I would do that. I'd watch the deleted scenes, but I would never watch the deleted scenes inside the movie, which would be an option as well.
So, but okay, so here's the thing though. Even with the extra content, do I like this better than Josh Whedon's version? I am going to say yes. I do like it better. Did I enjoy the movie? I enjoyed it more than I expected. But if I were to give it a card, I'm going to give it a yellow because there were still things that I did not like about the movie. I still don't like Cyborg. I still don't like Flash. I still think the team dynamic is very it's a very it's non-existent. It doesn't seem like it doesn't feel like it's still there. It still feels like a movie that tries to cram everyone's backstory into one whole movie. So all the flaws are still there. But I think what makes it better is just the extra context and that there's more visuals. I wouldn't say that the visuals are better. There's just more of them because there's more action scenes that I felt like were in the original movie. And so sure, for the visual aspect to see the team do some cool stuff, that part was awesome. But it was just okay. But the thing is, like, I want to make clear, and probably something I'm going to bring up again later, is that I don't think it's fair to compare this at all to Josh Whedon's version because this is another whole movie attached to a movie where if we're talking about Zack Snyder, who was given extra money, did many, many, many more reshoots, and had more creative control over this because he was doing this for quote unquote free, as opposed to Josh Whedon, who came in on the project much, much later, towards the tail end of the production, who probably still had to do whatever WB told him to do, and had to fit everything within a 2 hour or however long Justice League was. 2 hours,
whatever.
2 hours and 20 minutes. So it is, I just feel like that argument of saying that it's better or saying that Josh Whedon didn't do a good job, I just feel like is not valid, because if you give any director that much extra time and money or whatever, then of course they're going to have a much better version of the movie. And Zack Snyder could have also, I don't know, avoided the same flaws or traps that Josh Whedon had said that people relate that movie to him. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing. If we just want to look at Zack Snyder's vision as a whole, sure, this was cool. Like I said, I did like it. I just it still bothered me because it still didn't feel like a very much Justice League movie. It was just, here's 5 or 6, however many members there are. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
7 technically.
8 if you count the other one.
No, that's 7. Still 7.
No, it's still 7. If you count the other one, it's 8.
So regardless, like, you're still cramming too much in there, and I feel like you're just trying to make sure you tackle on stuff that people won't relate to Josh Whedon. But like I said, I'll give it a yellow. I'm going to give it a yellow because, like, I did enjoy what I saw for the most part. So, Ham, what did you think?
I watched this movie.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm
I
proud.
think that what do I think? I'm just gonna say it. I do agree with Sal, and yeah, I'll give it a yellow. I mean, there's some good stuff here and there. I missed my favorite scenes, like the beginning of the movie and from Joss Whedon. Um, I also like they took out the scene when rescuing the 2 or 3 people from the original,
Hmm.
and nope, these are actually all the bad stuff that I don't care watching again. That's the only two I can remember, but I do like most of the stuff at the end. I felt like I was watching the same movie, and I'm like, was this in there? Was this wasn't in there? I don't know. I don't remember. Um, uh, I do like. Are we spoilers? What are we
Yeah,
doing?
this is also. I mean, sure. There's spoilers. Spoiler warning to everybody. Spoilers. Spoilers. Spoilers.
Yeah. I do like the addition of Martian the Manhunter. Just
Mm.
for a few. I do like Green Lantern at the end credit scene. Uh, you guys saw that?
There's none, but okay.
Yeah, I meant that.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait. I gotta go back.
I
Watch
was
the
like,
whole
Mike,
4 hours again.
yeah, you have to watch Easy's in a snippet of it.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed the end sort of setting up for a sequel. You have those characters, and with Batman interacting with the Joker, I was like, I want more of that. That's what I want to see. It was very good. I could have just watched that and have been like, good, but I don't know. 4
Okay.
hours, worth it? Not worth it. I don't know, but definitely yellow. I was watching it. I watched it in 2 sittings, and the first sitting, the sound seemed off to me. I don't know about you guys.
I didn't notice that. I had to do it in 2 sittings as well, but I didn't notice any sound
It could have
audio
been my
mess
my
ups.
my sound bar, but once I was watching it in a smaller device, I didn't notice anything. Um, it's like I could notice the sort of editing of the sound. It's like, oh, kind of obvious, but that was when I saw it for the first hour ish. But the other, whatever, how many hours, I didn't notice it at all. And even maybe it was how I watched it. Uh, some of the, um, I guess, wording or mouthing of the words weren't matching up, but maybe that was in editing. I don't
Okay.
know, but
So
it could have been my whatever.
what's keeping you from giving it a green?
I didn't see much new about it. Like like I said, I wasn't really sure how much new stuff was in there. Like what
It's about 2 hours of new stuff.
was it new stuff or was it just stuff that they didn't show or already had in the
Oh, I see.
can?
So what deleted scenes versus like reshoots or
Yes,
whatever. Okay.
yes, exactly.
I see what you mean. Okay.
So, there was Easter eggs here and there that I liked, but I don't know. It just I don't know if I would care watching it if we weren't doing this.
That's fair. That's fair. So
We
What about
you
you,
said yellow,
Mike?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question is,
So
will you rewatch it?
Well, no.
yeah, that's a hard no for me either. I ain't going through another 4 hours.
That's fair.
No.
That's fair. Mhm.
All right. So the review that matters the most, I guess, maybe. Mike.
All right. Man, how should I start this? Okay. So my expectations for
By finishing it.
my expectations for this movie were really low. If I had to give up
Mine too.
a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 1. It's the same level as Godzilla
Whoa.
versus Kong. If anything,
Yeah.
lower than that. I just don't see any hope whatsoever for the DC entertainment for it getting it act together and going forward, because every other movie doesn't connect, and the story, it's just all over the place, and it's just becoming more of a 2000 theme where we just get random superhero movies that just doesn't matter, like,
Yeah, what Marvel was doing
yeah, like,
earlier in the day.
random Daredevil, Electro, and the only thing that was connected was Spider-Man,
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, and it's all over the place and everything like that.
Yeah, but with this movie, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
ask all you guys, but specifically Mike,
Mhm.
is this going to stop you from watching any other thing coming out from DC?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna continue on watching it because I just love DC. I just love the heroes. I just want them for them to do it right, And unfortunately, some of them are hits and some of them are misses. So, is this movie a hit and miss for me? Right. So, I want to start out just saying that I think this is a bit better version of the Joss Whedon, and I going to agree with Ham is that the scenes that you're watching in this movie are already in Justice League, but they're just extended for more backstory. Like I love the fighting scene with Steppenwolf and Wonder Woman's lands. My God, I can't even think about the Warriors' names. I'm so sorry. I'm calling myself a fan. I don't even know the names, but sure. That fight, that they extended it way long, and it was a bit satisfying and everything like that. And so my bar for this movies were really low, and I was met in the middle of it, where I am going to give this a yellow card. But there's times of this movie where I have so much issues, and it's with the story. I like Zack Snyder as a director, right? I think he does really good work with special effects and bringing his dreams into film and for everybody to watch. But I just don't think the story that he's trying to use is the right way. It's not done properly, and it's all over the place. The chemistry between the heroes, I'm going to agree with Sal. It's pretty much almost non-existent, where they have like little chuckles here and there, and it's
I do like that. They were kind of good.
They were okay. I didn't feel that. I just didn't feel the connection coming together. And I'm gonna say this. I think Joss Whedon's version did a better job than this movie did. So I'll start out with the superheroes. With my favorites, Cyborg. I know Sal didn't like it, but I love Cyborg in this one. I think Cyborg is done 100% right in this one. He's gives a little bit more backstory that I like. I thought he was really good, and if anything, I think he was like one of the main heroes. Superman, he has the same exact role as Joss Whedon. Superman, he shows up in halfway in the movie, and then he shows up in the end. But the only thing that was justice that he got the black suit, and I dig that. That's more respect from him coming back.
Black suit. Yeah, any black suit. That suit, though.
Yeah, him coming back and restarting and becoming his own superhero again, and everything like that. But of course, there's no interactions with the heroes. He's just a lone wolf, and he just joins his team because he has to save the world. That's what he wants to do, and that's it. Wonder Woman, to me, I think she was a bit better. She has a little bit more action scenes in this one. I love Wonder Woman, except for, of course, like I mentioned, in 1984. I hate that movie, but this Wonder Woman did great in this movie, right? Every other superhero, Aquaman is just a backseat hero. I think he was okay. But Zack Snyder doesn't know how to do Batman right. This Batman, it's
Ben Affleck.
I don't mind Ben Affleck being Batman, but he just sucks being Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? Like, this Batman is just more of a, okay, whatever comes my way, I'll deal with it. Not more of more of a mind of, okay, if this person shows up, I'm going to do something. I'm going to counter it. He's not thinking of ahead, and there's not much brilliancy of how other Batman movies have made him. and or like it's just what I've read in the comic books and what I expect for Batman to be,
Yeah.
and for Bruce Wayne to be more of a leader and more of a intimidating person, where he doesn't find any of these superheroes scary or anything like that. But it's just this Bruce Wayne is just more like, yeah, I'm rich, so I'm just going to throw money things at. I'm just going to throw my money at it, and I'm just going to get it. That's my way, and I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's his superpower.
It is his superpower, but the thing is,
his words, not mine.
exactly. So that's
Yeah,
the thing that I hate. Is just like, yeah, he's rich, but he knows how to use his technology. He knows what to do and everything. Flash, it doesn't work for me. Flash doesn't work in this movie. I don't know if it's the actor. I don't know if it's the writing. The comedy in the movie is terrible. And there's not even one time I chuckled. I didn't like. Oh, that was pretty fun. No, I'm not excited for that movie, for the Flash. I don't know. I don't think it's the actor's fault. I just think it's the writing. I think it's just the goofiness of him just keep on trying and trying and trying and trying. And I'm just like, can you just stop? You know. It sounds like I'm bashing this movie. It's just because, I'm using my bias on it. But I think,
and your nitpicks like Sal.
Yeah, I'm nitpicking and everything like that. But there are some good parts in this movie where I was like, okay, it's okay. It's an okay movie. I respect Zack Snyder for him to redo this movie, and I give him props for it. But I had to sit there and I had to think this way through. Is that if it wasn't for what happened with his family, this movie, I'm going to say this right now, that 2 hour, 30-minute movie, whatever Josh Whedon would have been, it would have been Zack Snyder's, but different version, and it still wouldn't work. And I think regardless, this movie would have still came out, even if that's Zack Snyder version, because this movie literally has the same atmosphere as Batman v Superman, where when the movie first released in theaters, it was clunky, it was all over the place, it didn't make sense, and then he released a 3 hour version where it explained more of the longer scenes, that the scenes that were shortened in the theater version, and they're just longer scenes in the DVD or the ultimate cut or whatever you want to call it. And it's a bit better because it explains a little bit more, but it still doesn't excuse of just, there's not that much. I don't know. It just doesn't wow me as enough to be like, damn, this is awesome. This is amazing. You know, it's okay. Sure. And believe it or not, guys, I set this one in one seating. I didn't take no breaks.
I was going to ask. Okay.
I didn't take no breaks. I just sat there. I watched it. It's just because I'm a fan of it, I guess. We mentioned Martian Manhunter's in this movie. He's just in it just to be in it. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do nothing for the story. Yep. That scene of Lois Lane, I didn't understand it. Why? Like, Martian Manhunter, is he watching it? Does he know the future? Does he know why Lois Lane is important? I guess because he knows that, that Superman's one of Superman's weakness, I guess. But how does he know that Superman might be alive, or, and this and that? And, and the only thing that was reshot or was made was that Joker scene. Everything else was just edited. There was nothing that Zack Snyder reshot or anything like that. He just re-edited. And then he added that nightmare scene where, in my opinion, it doesn't work for me. Yeah. It doesn't. Of course, that little interaction that they had, Joker and Batman, it was just more of a foreshadowing thing. Like, oh yeah, hey, I killed Robin.
Yeah, they're setting up for another sequel. That's what.
I don't think there's going to be another sequel. Zack Snyder already said that he's parting ways. He's not going to continue on with his story, and I don't want them to.
Yeah, but if you throw money his way, I mean,
I guess a lot of people they just want a good Justice League movie, and they're going to take whatever they can. And I call BS on that. I feel like fans deserve better. I want Josh Whedon. I mean, I want Zack Snyder to come back, but as a producer, not as a story writer, because I don't think he's a good story writer, especially for this type of story that he's trying to bring with Injustice story. and I just think it's too much. I think it's too much, and it's too early. It was a big miss for the story for me, at least. Um,
Okay.
Steppenwolf, it is what I predicted. It's the last villain. He's a bit. I like his armor a little bit. To me, he plays the same exact role as he did in Josh Whedon. People are freaking out for Darkseid. I asked them, why are you freaking out? He's just a picture in the wall where they keep on. Yeah, they just keep on mentioning him, but he doesn't really do anything. I mean, there was just the one moment where they showed of him in action going to Atlantis and everything like that, and I just don't want the story.
It's sort of like they ripped off Marvel with
Thanos.
Yeah, you see him, and then it's like, oh, this is what he might do.
It's something like that. And then when I saw one scene of Darkseid hanging over Superman because he's holding Lois Lane, and I think he was holding his son, and he.
All right, before anything, Mike, it's Lois, like Family
Lois,
Guy.
yeah.
Lois, not
Lois
like
Lane. Lois Lane, whatever. Him hovering over Superman, and then Superman just becomes bad, and that just reminds me of him being a puppet, and that's not the right way. That's not. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, what is that? The Injustice comics or whatever that led up to the Injustice game?
Yeah, that's how Injustice started.
No,
isn't it?
Injustice started with Joker killing Lois Lane and his son.
Well, yeah, basically.
But Superman didn't have no leader. He was his own leader. He didn't have Darkseid. He didn't have anybody like that. It was just himself. True. But it just seems like Darkseid plays a huge part of this, and I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Okay.
That's just the bias of me. As a fan, I want to give this a red, but you know what? I give credit to Zack of just him bringing this. I give it a yellow, but it's not a movie that I want to rewatch again. To be honest, like it's just I'm not going to recommend this movie to anybody. That's just me.
Yeah.
Fans could praise it all they want, but in the long run, it's not a very good movie.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the scenes I actually liked. It's the guy who played Cyborg's dad. You know, he's been in other movies where he's got a switch in a technology building.
Which one is that?
And
so
yeah, you know which movie that is, right?
I don't know. I thought you were gonna finish it.
No. In Terminator, he's the guy in Terminator with the switch.
Oh, okay.
And he's busting in, and he's going, and he turns the switch, and guess what? Same thing happens in this movie.
Oh,
he dies.
Okay.
He fucking dies.
For some reason, I don't remember that. But okay, so
Terminator 2, and then hold on, and there's one more where it's Kevin Costner movie where Superman's in the cornfield. It's like, if you rebuild him, he will come. So yeah, that one too. Yeah.
So let's make it clear though, because I didn't watch any reviews. I didn't watch like any social media posts about Justice League. I avoided as much as I could up until the movie, because I wanted to go with a fresh mind. So after the movie came out is when I started going back up to social media and say, okay, what are people talking about it? And this movie is being praised like to the highest degree. And the one thing, like despite whatever's going on with Josh Whedon and the accusation, let's just say it's not Josh Whedon. Let's just say it's some other director, right? No matter what, a director's cut, an extended version, is always going to be better than the original. Like I don't see anyone telling me that the original is better than the extended version. Like for me, like I have two movies that comes to mind. Spider-Man 2.1, which was extended scenes, which is significantly better than the original Spider-Man 2.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, shut up. But the other one then being Lord of the Rings.
You can't touch Lord of the Rings. You can't even no.
But the extended versions, people say that it's better than the original.
They do,
and they are better.
Lord of the Rings is its own category.
But regardless, like anything that's extended, when you're given more context, when you're given more content, that is always going to be better. So the people that are bashing the original, saying that this is what we should have had, like I feel like that's such an irrelevant argument. Like,
yeah, but nobody was bashing Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean?
But that's not my point. My point is saying that the extended is always going to be better. Like, it doesn't matter what the original is. The original is whatever people's judgment is, but they're always going to say that the extended is going to be better than the original.
Like, it's the same.
Are you
barely?
No,
for this
I mean
movie,
it's the same thing that I mentioned. Is when Batman v Superman came out, that the theatrical version wasn't really well praised. It was just all over the place. And then when Zack Snyder released the DVD of the Ultimate Edition, where it comes with it has the deleted scenes where it's like 3 hours and something minutes. That's better than the theatrical version of it because it explains a lot more. And that's what I'm saying about this movie is that I think regardless, even if it had the Zack Snyder original theatrical release, it still wouldn't work. And I think he still would have released this 4-hour version of it. That's what I'm saying. So
I agree.
So I want to get into my complaints because the first one I want to address. There's a bunch. The first one I want to address is that people are saying that this Flash is way better than Joss Whedon's Flash or the original Flash, which the only thing before I get into the biggest,
it was creepy
behind him. I still don't like his humor. I still don't understand the Iris West.
Iris West.
Iris?
Yeah,
that's Iris, right? Yeah. What's the point of that scene? There's no connection anywhere else down the line with that scene. Like, I don't understand why we even had that scene to begin with. It's
in the extended
the 5-hour version.
But it was just we don't even get confirmation that it's Iris. Like, it was just like, hey, we lock eyes. She doesn't even speak. She doesn't.
If
say
you're
anything.
a fan, you should know. That's the thing.
But someone's talking back here. But the thing is, the people saying the most is that the ending, right? What he does in the final act supersedes what he does in the original. Which
I think so.
He plays Duck Duck Goose. Don't tell me that him playing Duck Duck Goose is better than him rescuing a family. Like that's all he did was literally spin in circles
faster than the speed of light.
If we're gonna talk about the effect, like the actual action of him reversing time, sure, that scene looked cool. But if we're talking about his contribution to what he actually was supposed to do, he literally just ran around in circles for the entirety of that fight. He did nothing else.
That's what he does. He runs around.
No, he can fight. He can beat up parademons. Like, he knows what he. Remember the scene in
this is a novice Flash.
Yeah,
he doesn't know any better.
No, he's not. He's not. No. So I was going to bring that up. In the sewers, right? In the original version, we had that. There was that conversation between him and Batman, I think, or Cyborg, where he's like, "Hey, I never fought a metahuman before. Like, I don't know what to do." There's that conversation.
Oh,
doesn't
that's
exist
in Batman.
in Zack Snyder's version.
He was having that conversation with Batman.
And we actually get to see him fight parademons, like a couple of them in that sewer fight. So he's not an inexperienced person. He knows stuff in this version. So for him to literally do nothing but run around in circles and play tag with himself was the stupidest thing.
You ever see the Flash animated or Flash series? That's all he does is runs around in circles.
I just feel like that's nothing. Like, that is nothing to praise about. Like, people are saying, like,
I wasn't praising it.
No, but it aggravates me because, like, he does nothing but just touches Cyborg's
So you're aggravated of the people.
I mean, I'm aggravated that people are even praising some of the superheroes. Like, one of them is Flash. I 100%.
That's what you guys. Yeah, you're aggravated of people praising.
But because I'm also aggravated, but that he did nothing. That's why I like him less in this version than I did in the original. He does nothing in this movie. He has no contribution to that final fight. Like, you give him 2 seconds of reversing time, and that is it. That means nothing. Just because.
But if that didn't happen,
then the movie would have been shorter, and I would have probably been happier.
To be honest with you, can I mention one of the biggest randomest thing in the movie? The music.
What?
Oh my god, yes, that was another one of my complaints.
I
The
noticed it.
soundtrack was way off, and I swear to God, if I hear one more like Amazonian cry for every single thing, that
Whoa,
one
it's good,
what
but
Wonder Woman go gets coffee.
he
Then Wonder Woman
said,
opens the car door. Oh, it's just,
Batman using the bathroom.
wait, why is Batman using Wonder Woman singing in the bathroom? Wait a minute.
it was the soundtrack, like the individual tracks alone, sure, are fine, and I
Yes.
enjoyed them, but their placement in the movie was so awkward and so like discombobulated that it was like, what? Like, did you even bother to like edit the soundtrack at all? Because, or just like you just thought, hey, I'm just gonna repeat this song because people like this 30-second clip of this song. Like,
Lois Lane getting
people like
coffee.
the song.
it was
Lois Lane
just
getting
too much.
coffee.
Lois,
Lois, yeah, that's what I said. Lois.
I still don't like Cyborg because, like, sure, we get more context to him, but he's still the same broody, like, I hate my life and I'm going to continue to hate my life forever, like, version. Like, I don't see any difference between the original version and this version of Cyborg other than we just know more of his backstory. Like, I don't.
Well, to
I
me,
don't
is
see
that in the Josh Whedon version, I was just like, okay, so he's mad that he's a cyborg and stuff like that. But in this one, it explains of him losing his mother. You know, he blames it on his father, and he's just this big like machine thing where he doesn't understand anything, and he's just holding a grudge. But he's trying to figure out what he is himself, and that's what I liked about actually this version instead of the Josh Whedon one.
I thought that's what we got in the original.
No,
That's
Josh
what I
Whedon like
remember.
cut out
Like,
a lot of his backstory where he was just like,
yeah,
right, but
definitely.
the context to him is still.
We
the
didn't know
same.
about his
Like,
mother.
I still got that same.
That's the only thing. Like, we didn't know anything about his mother. We didn't know of like why was he really upset with his father, except for just like, okay, you're just upset with him because he turned into a cyborg. Like he was trying to save your life, so why are you being such an asshole?
Well,
but in this one, it's more than that.
Yeah. As the only one who has seen Doom Patrol, it was very, yeah.
No, Beast Boy's not in it.
Did you watch Doom Patrol?
You know it's coming up.
But it is repetitive. I mean, I've seen his story a few times already. I mean, I guess it is for the average viewer. Even then, it's like, yeah, we sort of know his story already. If you don't, then it's like, he doesn't like himself as a robot. He hates his dad because he turned himself into a robot. And he thinks he killed his mom, but didn't, but did. But it's just like, all right, Batman did it better.
If we want to talk about his dad too, my only complaint about his dad, like, I liked his dad. I liked the actor. I liked, his role in the movie. Everything was fine, except for the part where he sacrificed himself. Because I'm no scientist. Like, I don't know what exactly they were working on.
I thought you were a scientist.
I try to be, but why did he have to be in the room to turn on the switch?
Because of Nintendo.
He had to blow in the machine to turn it on.
I mean, I see your point. I don't know.
Like, he couldn't hide behind like a desk or under like a counter or something. He had to go in the room to turn the on switch.
It's more dramatic. And
is it me?
Of, Cyborg's backstory.
Like, I get the idea why he did it, right? I get it. He's superheated. Because at first I was like, what's the point of the sacrifice? This is so stupid. And then they explained it. I was like, oh, okay. But then it still hit me. I was like, why were you in the room, though? You could have just been outside.
But either way...
not really, because he could have just easily ran away and Steppenwolf been like...
Ran away?
He could have hid. Because at the point that he was in the room, Steppenwolf didn't see him yet. He could have hid. And then he could have kept his mouth shut, and then he could have turned on the thing. Like, it was that easy.
Sure.
It was that easy.
It is true. I mean,
I haven't been near Steppenwolf at all my entire life, so maybe I don't know what it's like, but I just feel like my brain would go to hide somewhere else if I had a portable switch.
Watching... Oh, yeah, when I go to my room, I have a switch on because, it's just that scene... It's just that scene, fuck you. That scene right there... it just gave me the Watchmen feeling where Dr. Manhattan was stuck in that room, and then the switch turned on, and then he disintegrated. Like that's how I saw it. I was like, okay, was this supposed to be like a little Easter egg for Watchmen? Like hint, hint. Like sacrifice, and I don't know. I thought the same exact thing too. I was like, okay, so he sacrificed himself for what? Okay, to bring out heat to the mother box. But couldn't he just do that outside? Like he had it's wireless. Out. I don't think he does.
He knows better. I don't know.
Now about Martian the Manhunter. The only positive thing I will say about Martian the Manhunter was that his design looked cool.
Yeah.
That was it. Other than that, his placement into the movie was I feel like was such a disservice to that conversation. Where
also, I watched some Easter eggs. He plays that general in Superman.
Yeah, he's a Man of Steel as well.
Sure, but the problem is, so the only times we see him is after that conversation saying we need you more than you think, Lois, and then at the end where he has a conversation with Batman and he does that cheesy line of "They call me Martian the Manhunter." Like, fuck you! Oh, no one calls you that. Like, bullshit.
My boys in the club call me Martian Manhunter.
But I feel like his position in the movie was just to literally was just to hey fans, do you like Martian the Manhunter? Here he is. What does he do to the story? Nothing, but he's here. Okay, that's it. That's all it was. And I like that conversation between Martha and Lois, but I just felt I felt like that Martha being
takes that away. It takes it away.
That was a disguise. That was a whole trick. It's like what? What the fuck? Okay, so is Lois not going to bring up this conversation later? Is this not going to be an awkward thing between her and the mom?
Yeah, hi, nice talking to you in Metropolis. What do you mean?
So I don't know. It was just whatever. And Jared Leto's Joker, I still don't like his Joker. I don't like his laugh. His laugh was annoying as hell.
It was
no,
good.
it was not.
It doesn't work.
It's not.
No.
It's not for me. It's just that doesn't cut it for me as Joker.
I liked him in this more than that other movie.
That's not much though. That's not saying much. So
yeah, I mean, the same as that camera, screen time that he had is the same, almost equally as what he was in this movie.
The positive thing I will say about that scene though is I liked Batman's line towards Joker about killing Harley Quinn. I was like, all right, that's pretty.
It was very graphic. Sure. It was like she was. What was it like? She was like gasping for air and begged me to kill you.
Yeah, something like that. When I was talking about my whole how I felt like I was watching deleted scenes, that ending, literally when it started with what was the first one right before the Martian
Lex Luthor?
Was it Lex Luthor, right? We get the Arkham scene, then we get Lex Luthor meeting Deathstroke, and then we get the Nightmare scene, and then we get Martian the Manhunter, and I'm like, god damn, it almost felt like the Lord of the Rings ending, the third one, where it's what's the actual ending here? When is this movie actually gonna end?
We just said that was a good movie, man.
And I'm trying to think. The one line of dialogue that stuck out to me the most, which I thought was such a weird, throughout the whole movie, was such a weird and I don't understand why this was even said. When the team gets together and Cyborg sees the plane that Batman's been working on, it's like, oh, she wants to fly, and then Batman goes, "So do you." I'm like, what? Why'd you tell? What was the point of this line? I had to I was like, did I miss a part of the conversation? Let me rewind a little bit. Okay. Oh, I feel like she wants to fly. Yeah. So do you. What?
It's like what I mentioned. This Bruce Wayne has no intelligence.
Whoa, no, but I was waiting for where he's like, you talk to robots, and it was like, yeah, and you talk to fish. That
was a better line than what we got here.
Yeah, I mean,
you're welcome.
Yeah, he was just there.
Was
it was kind of weird for the whole Flash interaction with Iris? IRS. Yeah.
IRS.
By the way, you IRS. Bitch. But no, I'm joking. With Iris West, it was a bit weird. It was like, okay, you just met her, it was
About to
just
get
weird of
audited.
like, you know what I mean, like touching her hair, and then like I was expecting for him to grab the hot dog and put it
Yeah.
on her nose or mouth or some shit. Like, what the hell is this? Because it was just awkward. It
What?
just didn't make sense. And then him like, oh, did I get the job? Like him feeding, the hot dogs to dogs. It was just like, was this necessary?
I actually like that joke when he was like, "So I start Monday, Monday." Yeah,
Ugh, I just didn't like
Oh
that whole
god,
I
scene.
like
you
that.
lost him.
I did like that part.
Um, I'm trying to think if I'm pretty sure I had more complaints, but those are the main ones that stuck out to me.
I guess
Was
I,
all the
I
ones that I
guess
said.
for me, it's like I said, it's just a story. Like, of course, he wants to do a injustice story, but it's not. I mean,
Justice. He
injustice,
wants to do
like the story
justice in
injustice,
the
like
league.
where it's just evil Superman and blah 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 and this and that. But it's just like you just killed him. Like you kill Superman. He had a little evil thing going on when he came back to life.
Oh,
I mean,
You
yeah,
killed
sure, I kill
Superman.
Superman, but like, it was just more of like, okay, we're bringing him back to life. He goes evil a little bit. His love interest comes in. Lois Lane. And now he fully remembers, and now what, like you're and Cyborg seeing the future and everything like that, and you're just not going to pay attention to it. We're like, all right, we need to try to save this woman before Superman gets bad because she dies, and you need to actually talk to Superman about that. But like, hey, some reason she dies, so we need to protect her. Like why everything has to be kept a secret, especially something that big where the world could actually be destroyed. You know what I mean? Like there's just too many plot holes.
because they need
Oh, okay,
something
my
for
bad.
a
Yeah,
possible sequel.
another 4-hour movie.
I have one more complaint, just one more, and it's one that people are gonna hate me for the most about.
Sure.
Mike maybe as well, but I'm sorry, but I don't understand why the black suit is such a big deal in this movie.
Well, I don't think they explained it a lot, but when he died the first time, the black suit is supposed to regenerate his powers faster when he gets to the sun. They showed it, but they didn't explain it.
True. Yeah, that's pretty. That's
Yeah,
actually kind of
Mike
true.
knows.
Actually, him.
So that's
Yeah,
only
it's
a
literally
fan
just fan
thing,
delivery.
then.
Yeah, definitely like comics. Yeah,
Okay, because that was my whole
but they didn't explain it as much because you see all the suits when he goes in. And it's like, oh,
right.
why did he pick that one? They don't explain it, but it is a thing. It recharges powers faster, especially when in the comics. That's after he dies. He needs that
Why does
recharge.
it recharge it faster?
Don't ask me. I didn't read all the comics.
Why does it recharge it faster, Mike?
It just does. It's just a Kryptonian suit.
Jesus.
Yeah, because the suit does it,
Oh.
man. That's all.
Okay, fine. But that bothered me through the whole movie. It was like, I don't understand why you're wearing this black suit. Like you like you said, it doesn't explain it in the movie at all. And they give you like this.
It shows
No,
it, but
that doesn't
explain it.
explain it though. It just shows him, yes, being recharged, but that's typical of Superman. We know that he recharges in the sun.
Yeah, the black does it.
No, but the black does it
The black suit
faster,
has
especially-
technology of Kryptonian technology where it helps regenerate weak Superman into collecting all the energy.
Yeah, and they did it. They did it, especially when he died in the.
I mean,
comics.
the simpler science answer here is that darker colors absorb heat in general.
Yes.
So that part makes
Science.
sense. But I'm just saying, I just wish that was explained in the movie. Not
Just talk to the Kryptonians,
I mean,
man.
okay,
Come on.
okay. Let me get on the phone call.
I gotta
wait.
mention this as well
Oh,
too.
wait.
I
Oh,
had to
wait.
pause the movie a good of 20 times, 20, 15 times to explain my wife
20?
what are they trying to do in the movie of the story. And
Hmm.
yeah, I knew
Only
backstory
because
and
you knew
everything,
backstory
and it's
and
just
all
like
that
because
shit.
she's seen all the other ones. She's like, so why is this? Why is that? And it's just and I literally just told her like, that's just the way the writing is. That's just the way the writing is, and that's what I'm telling you. Like the
Hmm.
Yeah, like the
Just
special
take it
effects
with a
for this
grain of
movie
salt.
is great. Like I do like the 4:3 screen. I don't know if you guys were a fan of it. Um,
I was waiting for Ham to complain about that because you
Um,
complained about it with Cherry or what? Yeah,
yeah, but it didn't change. This was
yeah.
literally
I mean,
the whole movie.
I understand it. I liked it. It didn't bother me whatsoever. I didn't see the, you know,
yeah, it didn't
um,
bother me either.
Also, I did hear that the reasoning behind that it was um because the movie was shot in IMAX, and then that's how they
yeah,
edited it. Blah blah
and
blah
then
blah. That's what I heard.
this is a nitpick. I don't really care about the part one, part two, part three. It doesn't really matter to me because it all connects as a movie itself. Like if you're trying to be more like different, where like, yeah, like pretend like this is a book. Part one, part two, part three, part four, and then epilogue and stuff like that. It's just,
Eh,
I don't know. Oh my
Speaking
god.
of books, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
it did the same thing that Cherry did. I mean, that didn't bother me because it was like, yeah, it's an episodic thing, and you're trying to
So
define.
it didn't bother you here.
No, that was fine by me. Like, I actually thought it was a nice addition, especially for such a long movie, to kind of divide it up that way. And for the most part, it kept to the theme that it was trying to
No,
do
I
for
don't
each
know.
chapter. I
It's
thought.
just that's just me. It's a nitpick.
Um,
I
I don't
think
think it helped or
we're
hurt.
kind of like bashing this movie a lot. Where no, I am.
Yeah,
I'm
you are, Mike.
100%. I don't agree with the audience. I don't agree with.
Because it's still not a good movie. Like I again, you can argue my Marvel bias here, but Marvel did it
Yes,
better where you set up the backstory to these characters already, and then you can do it. You can bring them together for one big epic, I
he didn't
guess.
have time for
But
that. He didn't have time
yeah,
for
but
that.
this movie, like it just crams everyone's backstory, and then
Just
Yeah,
like
for
the
some of
original.
them, it just kind of falls short still. Like Aquaman, if this was your first interaction with Aquaman, you still don't really get that much of a backstory with him. Barely any
We'll
through the
see.
dialogue.
That's what I was gonna ask. Should we uh
no, this is
already have the
before. This
info
is
of the
before. Like you have to go
Aquaman
in a
movie?
mindset of like, okay, Aquaman did not exist before this movie.
What I'm saying, we already saw that though with Wonder Woman 80s. This is after the 80s. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
I'm just
but
like
that's unfair because you're now comparing a movie
exactly.
now after we've gotten these movies to what it should have been before. So again, that's
Yeah,
why I brought up if this was the
because
first time interacting with Aquaman, you don't really still understand Aquaman. Barely through any of the dialogue did you get with the act with they brought in what was Willem Dafoe's character into this movie?
Okay, yeah, it's just
Vulcan Volca.
well,
you
in
don't
the
know who.
original,
I mean,
in the
I know that was his
yeah, he was his
mentor
mentor.
because of Aquaman, but think about this though: is that imagine that imagine this movie being out and him being in the movie, and you're like, who the fuck is that? Before Aquaman came out.
That's what I'm saying. Did he try to think of, oh, these movies already came out, so I
Sure,
can
but
throw
I
in this
still,
shit? Or
yeah, I don't
it's
know.
like, oh,
But
don't
if
worry
he
about
is, I
that
feel
last
like that's
shit.
still unfair. You
Mm.
should give us a movie that you were planning to release before all these other movies came out. So that's why, like, I
I
just feel like
agree. I agree.
it's
I
a
agree.
cheat card where,
No, I'm saying in their mindset, what were they were thinking for a viewer who really, first time this should be before that. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, if anybody
well,
was
what is
actually
it?
like, I mean, if anybody who ever dares to rewatch all the DC movies, like, of course, you have to watch this movie first, and you're still going to be like, who the hell is that guy? And then when you watch Aquaman, you're like, oh, that's him. Yeah, I wish they kind of explained it a little bit more, but sure, why not? It's DC. But in my opinion, I feel like this whole entire mess is Warner Brothers' fault, and for not having an actually established producer like what Sal mentioned a while back. Like they don't have a Kevin Feige. They don't have nobody to actually put people in line in place of like this is the story that we want. This is the story that's going to happen. And if you don't like it, all right, we'll find somebody else. Unlike in Warner Brothers circle where multiple directors have quit jobs of directing. You know, Flash is on its fourth director. You know, and it's the guy who made It, and the same thing with Aquaman, and the same thing with I think Shazam as well too, and Black Adam. You know, it's just it's a mess, and of course the Flash movie's coming out, and it's supposed to reset everything, and we don't even know if Henry Cavill is going to ever come back as Superman. I would love for him to come back, but in my opinion, you know, just you know what,
Yeah.
start fresh.
Well,
Ben Affleck, yeah, he's
Ben
not coming
Affleck
back,
isn't.
and it's fine. You know, just start out with a fresh start, I guess. I don't know. And Blue Beetle's coming out. I know, yeah. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I just think they should just stop. They should just stop and go on hiatus for 10 years and retry again.
Well, listeners, that's the end of this episode. It's just me, Sal, the teacher. This was originally going to be an ending where the three of us were going to say, like, we had a second episode coming out this weekend, but unfortunately, plans fell through. We'll explain it in our next episode, but we'll just wrap it up here. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Drunk Cop and a Teacher on Twitter and Instagram, or you can write us an email at drunkcop.ateacher@gmail.com. Let us know any comments or suggestions you have for the podcast, any topics you want us to talk about. And to that end, we'll talk to you guys in the next episode.